Hello, Facebook land. Welcome to Adara Live. And I am here with Margarita Romano, who just wrote a book called Sitting on the Fence. This is all about how to love without limits. How many limits do we put on ourselves when it comes to love? Lots. Yeah. So, Margarita, tell us a little bit about why you wanted to write this book.
Okay. I think maybe about 5 years ago. No, wait, we're 20. Yes, in 2019. No, more like it was 2010, where I was like really feeling called to a bigger purpose, more than at the time we had our branding. We had LeapZone. We have LeapZone still, and it was very business focused, very branding focused. And I was like, there's something else. There's something else. And through doing several processes, I reconnected to two things: writing and horses. And I uncovered that I had this big connection to unconditional love and getting people out of their heads and into their hearts. And so with the horse work, that's what I do, is I help people get out of their heads, into their hearts, back to why they're doing things, what drives them. And then the book was another piece to that. And using the story of how my partner and I, Isabel, came to be.
It is a page turner. I think I read it in 2 nights. And it was so cool to hear that you two gorgeous women who were dating guys at the time met in this unbelievable way. I mean, I just love your first encounter. You have to read it. It's hilarious. and how that blossomed into a 27-year partnership and marriage of business and life. And so anyway, how was it? And just through the families and all the, trying to explain this love that you had for each other, it was sort of unexplainable in a sense, or how could you?
Well, it was why it was difficult to explain, or that we wanted to be so sure that when we explained it, it would be understood.
Yeah.
Is because
or
it's
accepted or something.
All of the above. Yeah. It was because this was as new to us as it was going to be to the people we told, right? And it took us 2 years to finally be like, no, we're not experimenting. We were in university. We're like, it's all about experimenting. And maybe like we had boyfriends up until then. So this was just a slap in the face in many ways. And then after 2 years, we were finally like, okay, no, this is like, it's the real deal. And we need to come to terms with the fact that we love each other and that it's not going away, and it's okay. Like that was the biggest thing. It's okay.
So what I love about what you just said was that you had this love with someone that was so unlike what you had imagined you would probably fall in love with. Like as young girls, we imagine what our love is going to be, right?
Correct.
And this is so not.
This was not it.
It wasn't even on the fucking radar.
No.
And then how you've learned to love each other. And love yourself. That's what I was going to say. Loving yourself enough to see that this was something that you deserve, or that it was okay to want that.
And love stems from self-love. Like love is what binds us all together. It's an energy that binds us all as one. But in order to have love to give, you need to be open to receiving it. And the most important person to receive love from is ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, how can we expect others to see in us what we think is lovable? Like we have to love that first.
So let's talk about that. I feel like people have a difficult time starting there.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of time out there giving and loving and not ever really doing that back for themselves, right?
Well, I think that it has been perceived as maybe selfish to love yourself.
That needs to go.
It does need to go. It really does, because it's just so important. The more we love ourselves, the more we sit in our power. The more we believe and we see why we're here and what we're meant to do. And that's all. That's the loving ourselves is like fueling the fire within. It's the fuel. And everything stems from there, but you have to light and ignite that spark.
Mm-hmm. Have you found that over the years you've had to love yourself over and over and over again?
Hell yeah. Oh God. And that's the other thing, is it's an ongoing journey, right? It's not something that you do one day and you're like, okay, check, done.
Love myself.
No, and the more difficult the time, the more important it is to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one else is going to do it. Like, see yourself through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and loving yourself even through all the darkness. And
especially.
And all that pieces. And not trying to like light it up, you know, like I found too, like, you know, there'll be me sometimes, like, everything's okay. Like, actually, I've never actually done that, to be honest. But I know people who are like, everything's okay. Like,
covering up.
Yeah.
Well, staying on the surface, right? Loving ourselves also requires us to go within and go deeper, right? And actually go beyond the head and go look at the stuff that's in here. And it's a process, it's a journey. And like I said, it's not a one-time deal. Like, it's every day. And every day there's new things to forgive within ourselves, to shed some light on, to, you know, help us move through the things, the challenges, fears, limiting beliefs that show up every day.
And not to feel like disempowered, I was going to say, around that, but more feeling that doing that work is actually really empowering.
Correct.
To yourself.
Yeah, totally.
I like it. So, any questions? I don't know. I could hear our loves out there chit-chatting.
I know.
I'm gonna like bring them in here. So, Sitting on the Fence is hit a #1 best-selling status, and it is an amazing book. And Margarita is such a beautiful soul, as you can see. And what would be one particular point that you could give away to our viewers now around how they could start being aware of where they're on their love line, or their love line?
Yeah. Okay.
I just made that up.
Very nice. I would say create space to be with yourself. Pull yourself away from all of the things that keep you in your head, whether it's work, family, all the things that the to-dos. Just create, even if it's 10 minutes, create that space to be with yourself. And once you are with yourself and creating the space away from other things, stuff naturally starts coming up, right? And I think the first step is don't run away. Like, let it come up. Create the awareness around what is going on for me. And it starts with awareness.
I love it. Awareness.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to talk about writing a book, and how, because we were just mentioning how, you know, you had it in you, you knew that you wanted to share, and it's the hardest thing to just sit down and write the goddamn thing, right? And then with all the things you have going on, we say it's like on the back burner, but it's the most important thing. And like the thing,
it's my fuel, right? That's what. Right. Yeah.
And that's loving yourself too.
Correct. Yeah. The thing with books, not all of them, but this one, I'll use mine as an example, is when you read it, it's like, oh, well, that doesn't seem too complicated. I could do that. And it's yes, you can. And know that it's a journey, and it doesn't start off simple. It starts off with ideas coming from every which angle, and the structure may not be there, and then it shows up, and then you add, and then you delete, and it's a process that leads to what comes out. And when writing the book or a book is not your priority, as in it is not your whole livelihood, and you have a job, or you have, you know, priorities and things to do, it's the discipline that is the hardest. The discipline to keep coming back to this love project, right?
Love project.
And getting it done.
Because I was gonna say too, like when you read it, I'm like, oh, this would be easy. I could write my story. Like, okay, I got this. And then Margarita's like, do you know how long it takes just to sound like you are flowy? You know? And I was like, oh God.
Well, and it's I think it was Mark Twain or someone has said, you know, I apologize for such the short letter. It took me so long. Oh, I'm ruining this whole quote.
We'll put it below.
But basically, it's that the shorter the piece, the longer it takes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The shorter the piece, the longer the take.
Yeah.
Okay. We do have a question.
Okay.
Why did it take courage to write your book, to start reading I finally plucked up the courage to start reading your book. Why Why did it take courage? Because I knew my analytical self. Oh, is that a question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, why did she need courage to read the book?
Okay. Maybe because you're going in.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's because this book, the purpose of this book is to have people go inward. And that can be scary if it's new to you, if it's something that, in fact, if you feel like you needed courage, then you know there's stuff going on that you need to look at. And like, what better time than the present, right?
And it comes with a beautiful workbook as well. So you can do a lot of journaling and inquiry. So that's very cool. Oh, I just want to talk all night long, but this is it. This was our talk. Well, I'm going to put the link below for the book if anyone would like to buy it. Margarita has a beautiful home here in a new space where they do
equine facilitated learning.
What she said, which is fabulous, by the way. And it's another amazing way to love yourself. I think it's really important to find things that really do nurture your own self-love, whether that's taking a bath or treating yourself to a massage, and or going to something special like what you do with people for them to like really love themselves around that.
And just spend the time on themselves, right? How often do we spend time on ourselves?
It needs to happen more often. My 2019 goal was soulful experiences. And to have soulful experiences means that I spend a lot of time with myself because that's very soulful. And also the connections that I make are very soulful. And then I just kind of hang out in that world. I'm very excited about it. How about you? Do you have a 2019 word or? I
do. My word this year is evolve. For my own evolution and part of my purpose with this, I feel, is I am available and holding space to help people evolve as well. Yeah.
Love it. Perfect. Okay, well, you know where to find us, and thank you so much for joining in. It is a Friday, so I'm going to see if Isabel and Margarita will dance with me. It's Dance Party Friday today.
Is it? Oh, sweet. Okay.
So we're going to do that after, but thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.